Mr Deputy Speaker, can I say to the Minister that I was the Minister that took through the Gender Recognition Bill, and although there will be much noise and fire, like me, she will look back on this moment with great pride in her career. The measure of a civilised democracy is how we treat minorities, and therefore it is important that we remember those who served on the Wolfenden Report now over half a century ago, Leo Abse, who campaigned for many years in this House for the decriminalisation of gay sex, and those, including in my own local authority in Haringey, who in the 1980s wanted to fund gay groups, wanted to see our children understanding these complex issues, and faced Clause 28. And I might say, had we not passed that clause, we might have come to this moment a little sooner. And so it is to them that we pay tribute as we move forward in the way that we do.
Does he agree with me that it has set back, the introduction of Section 28 did set back this debate, and if it hadn't have been introduced, we might have come to this point much, much earlier?
I think that my honourable friend is right, and that was a moment, a great stain on this House, where we turned on an important minority. Now, I've received many letters from people for whom this is all coming too soon. They say that the speed of change for lesbian, gay and bisexual rights is happening too abruptly for them to comprehend, that the country they live in, the traditions that they live by and the people that they live next to are transforming in ways that make them feel uncomfortable, upset and undermined. They're not homophobic, they say, they're not racist, but they say, not now, later. And to some extent I sympathise. As much as I would want Britain to always be the beating heart of a radical and progressive change, it isn't. At root, it has always had a small c conservative spine that runs through it. An instinct that change should always be organic. A need for change to be owned by the people, not imposed from up high, and that we must respect that. And I will be respecting that when I vote for this bill, because it does command the support of the country, because it does respect religious freedom and tradition by permitting rather than mandating religious organisations to conduct the ceremonies, and because it is, in the end, of an organic journey from criminality to equality for the gay community that began over a half-century ago. This change is right, this change is necessary, and the time is now. And there are still those who say that this is all unnecessary. Why do we need gay marriage when we already have civil partnerships, they say? They are the same, separate but equal, they claim. Let me speak frankly. Separate but equal is a fraud. Separate but equal is the language that tried to push Rosa Parks to the back of the bus. Separate but equal is the motif that determined that black and white people could not possibly drink from the same water fountain, eat at the same table, or use the same toilets. Separate but equal are the words that just justified sending black children to different schools from their white peers, schools that would fail them and condemn them to a life of poverty. It is an excerpt from the phrase book of the segregationists and the racists. It is the same statement, the same ideas and the same delusion that we borrowed in this country to say that women could vote, but only if they were married and only when they were over 30. It is the same naivety that gave way for my dad being a citizen when he arrived here in 1956, but refused by landlords and proclaimed no blacks, no Irish, no dogs. It entrenched who we were, who our friends could be, and what our lives could become. This is not separate but equal. It is separate and discriminated, separate and oppressed, separate and browbeaten, separate and subjugated. Separate is not equal, so let us be rid of it. Because as long as there is one rule for us and another for them, we allow the barriers of acceptance to go unchallenged. As long as our statute books suggest that love between two men or two women is unworthy of being recognised through marriage, we allow the rot of homophobia to fester. We entrench a society where 20,000 homophobic crimes take place each year, where 800,000 people have witnessed homophobic bullying at work in the last 5 years. I am a Christian. I go to Mass. I recognise that this is important.
I'm very grateful. Can I say, Mr. Deputy Speaker, it's a privilege for me, and I think for all of us in the House, to hear this extraordinary impassioned peroration from the Honourable Member. And may I ask him if he agrees with me that there are Christians who look for love in every aspect of their lives and the lives of those around them, who still feel profound misgivings and concerns about this piece of legislation?
And can I say, I totally accept the manner in which my honourable friend has put his remarks, and it's with deep regret that I've received many letters in my postbag condemning this legislation from people who share the same values and Christian ideals that I do on a Sunday morning, and I know them to be caring, loving and understanding people. I know that they resent the fact that those on the extremes of our faith have poisoned an important debate with references to polygamy and bestiality. So let us use today to return to a discussion of what marriage ought to be about. When I married my wife, I understood our marriage to have two important dimensions: the expression of love, fidelity and mutuality over the course of our life, and of course a commitment to raise children. It is the case that gay men and women can raise children. This House made that decision. Let us not hear this debate about family as if gay men and women cannot do that. The Jesus I know was born a refugee, illegitimate, with a death warrant on his name, in a barn amongst animals. He would stand up for minorities. That is what is right for those who have religious conviction to vote for this bill.
Yeah.